first, metrosexuals seem to be taking over the place, with Mark Wright from The Only Way is Essex set to release his own scent. Sure about that one. A metrosexual poster boy David Beckham sporting a new headband. Do women really prefer the permatanned, clean-shaven, man-bag carrying type, or the rough and rugged, outdoorsy macho man? Joining us, a grooming expert, Jason Shankey, blacksmith, God, just the word blacksmith I think is really sexy, Jim Brown, and also journalist Liz Fraser. She's going to stick around for most of the show. So let's start with you. Now, you are an expert in male grooming. You facilitate that metrosexual look.
Yeah. Well, we provide services to men because it's such a growing area of the skincare industry, and male grooming, I suppose, over the last 10 years has been the fastest growing sector of skincare and of beauty altogether. So it's a demand that's being generated by men.
What sorts of services do you provide? Is it the kind of eyebrow plucking, back sack and crack, the whole thing?
We do it all. We do back sack and crack, we do tanning, fake tanning, we do facials, massage and haircuts, you know, hairdressing and whatever. So we do the whole plethora of treatments. And do men sort of skulk in rather shyly, hoping nobody sees them, or do they brazenly come in and say, pluck my eyebrows and moisturise me? I think about 10 years ago, it was kind of kept a little bit quiet. Yes. But more recently now, they just walk in, you know, it's a normal part of their lifestyle. I'm going to bring my guest Russell Watson in straight away. I think you're a self-confessed metrosexual.
Yes, sir. In fact, I use his moisturiser. I'm actually, yes, believe it or not, I'm 87 years old. Pretty good, eh?
Is it true that your skin is softer than a baby's bottom?
It is true, yes. Would you like to have a quick feel?
But you know, when you think of your background, I'd like to feel any part of you that you like, anything that's in. When you think of your background, though, one might imagine, you know, you came from a pretty, you know, tough
I came from Salford. Most of my mates say I'm a big soft lad now.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
big girl's blouse, they might say, if they dared.
I've actually taken pride in the last sort of 15, 20 years in looking after my skin and looking after my appearance, and it's paid dividends. I'm pleased with the way I look.
Well, you're looking very pretty indeed, but do you think it's a little girly, it's a little effeminate to be so obsessed with the softness
absolutely
of your
not,
skin?
darling.
Do you think women like it?
Yeah, my woman likes it, so if she likes it, I'm kind of happy with it. But, you know, I can go for the rough and ready look as well. I only look like this on TV. You should see me in the morning, Vanessa.
I wouldn't mind. Is that an invitation? Sounds like the best offer I've had all day, let me tell you. Let's bring in Jim on all of this. A blacksmith. Yep. Oh, core. You know, that's a real man, isn't it? You do sort of basic things with an anvil and stuff, with horses and stuff.
Oh, not so much the horses, that's more farrier, but it's wrought iron and railings and that type of stuff.
Oh, God, wrought iron and railings, that's doing it for me. And there's a picture of you doing it. What if he's got clothes on while he's doing it? That's a damn shame.
Yeah, necessity.
So I'm taking it you don't spend much time fake tanning, then?
No, not a great deal, no. Or none, in fact.
None at all. And I take it you don't spend much time having your eyebrows plucked, your beard shaped?
No.
Or your back, your sack, or your
none
of that.
They're all au naturel.
Natural. And what about beauty products, moisturisers, that kind of thing? Do you have lots of that?
Well, no, I personally don't have any of it. I mean, I moisturise occasionally just simply because the job dries your skin out and it cracks. So, but I tend to use whatever my wife or my daughter leave laying about.
So your beauty routine from start to finish is what, Jim?
I wash and I change.
Do you utilise a deodorant, or you wouldn't do that?
Well, not during the day, I don't. I mean, if I'm going out, you know, as a sort of a gesture to other people, I do.
Yes.
You know, but
they had to drag him into makeup.
I know, I was there. I saw he was most reluctant to sit down in that makeup test.
Yeah, it's, you know, to me, I don't see it as a necessity. I mean, I look upon moisturising more sort of medicinal because it's repairing what's obviously going to be damaged skin if I don't. Yes. But I wouldn't do it otherwise.
OK, what is your true age?
I'm 56.
Wow. OK, all right. So let's just bring Jason back in on this. I mean, he's 56 to me. He looks like a fine figure of a man.
He does. He looks great.
Yeah.
True.
But he does use moisturiser because his job entails it. You know, his skin gets bad because of sparks and stuff like that.
You know, only in recent years I've done that. I mean, I haven't done
But could you improve upon this man's perfection? I mean, if you were let loose upon him, what would you do?
Oh, yeah. Well, the first thing I would do is get rid of the beard because...
Completely?
Yeah, because a beard ages you know, so we could definitely take... it can do.
Let's bring Liz in on this. Liz.
In terms of how you look, it ages you. OK,
in terms of how you look, yeah.
So Liz, I mean, you know, the metrosexual man, the macho man, the man who smells of grease and sweat,
this
oil.
Is great. The whole lot is great. I'm having the best afternoon of my life. But it's interesting, you said right at the very beginning that, you know, men are really driving this, you know, I wonder whether women are kind of driving this, you know, whether women are saying, oh, you know, you should take more care of yourself, and then, of course, we criticise you when you nick our moisturisers, which is very, very bad. But I have to say, I tend to go for the more rugged than the more super clean, sort of more feminine-looking man. And it's weird, I think that these yeah, that's great, isn't it? These traditional roles, you know, are being sort of blurred, you know, as women are doing more men's jobs, actually, you know, and men are often now staying at home, also looking after the children. We're kind of, you know, where are the men and where are the ladies?
I don't know if the cameras are on Ben or not, but I imagine Ben is look at that face. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. I mean, I wondered if you were going to hide behind the cushions for this discussion.
No, not hiding behind the cushions.
This is quite a live issue in our house.
An absolute metrosexual all the way, and you really appreciated it when we didn't live together. And now we live together, get out of the way of the mirror, what you doing, you're taking so long, this man. But, you know, to look like this takes time, baby. No. No, but just a joke. I think that metrosexual is the way to go. I think that it's really hard to compete out there, you know, because most guys, they look really well. I mean, when I perform at a lot of nightclubs, and if you stand in, you know, you watch a security camera because you're in the manager's office and whatever, and people coming in, the guys look really well. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's the competition out there, so you've got to step up your game if you're a man.
You sound quite plausible on the telly, but in real life, it's something chronic, the whole thing. I mean, for the two of us to get...
How can you disbelieve anyone that has teeth that look
His
so
teeth
good?
are stunning, I know that, but for the two of us to get ready from a standing start, I'm 10 years older than him. I'm going to start by washing and blow-drying all this hair. You know, full makeup, get into at least a couple of pairs of Spanx.
I've got to do full makeup.
High heel shoes. You know, get him to zip me up in a dress, earrings, handbag, and all that. How can he take longer than me? How is that even technically possible? I still don't get it.
But it's not a new thing. I mean, according to Jan, tell me.
Well,
Vanessa, go on.
I come from... my father was very, very well presented and groomed. And, I mean, we're going back now to the 50s and 60s. In fact, whenever we went on holiday, my father would sit on the beach in a full-blown suit, you know, the tie and everything. But, I mean, there were only two products around at that time. Yeah, and Brill Cream. Yeah. And, you know, that was it. But he still went out, and my mother insisted. You know, she never went out without her makeup or anything, and nicely dressed. You know, it was taking a pride in your appearance.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm all for having a really nicely well-groomed man, always banging on about it to my husband. You should use this moisturiser, you should use that. Because there's so many products out there now.
Exactly.
That, you know, and magazines for men, whereas in my father's day there weren't any magazines whatsoever. You know, but there's so many more magazines.
I think so. It's not a new thing.
Let's bring Jim in on this. Let's bring Jim in on this. Do you think all this really is that the beauty companies, the beauty product companies, saturated the female market? They needed somewhere else to sell and another market to sell to, and they managed to dream up some whole thing, a campaign that meant that men fell for it all.
Well, I think a lot of it is that. Yeah, I really do. I mean, you can be well presented, you can be well groomed without, you know, having your chest waxed or moisturising every day, or, you know, checking your nose hairs once an hour. You know, you can do all that, right? It's levels of it, isn't it? And I mean, you get the advertising companies and the big makeup companies. Obviously, they're in it to make money. They're not out there to make you look or me look beautiful. They're out there to make their money. And then you get a figurehead like David Beckham. You know, David Beckham, I mean, he could turn up with a pair of Mickey Mouse ears on and everyone would go and buy them because David Beckham wears them.
See, David Beckham is the full package though, isn't he? Because it's not actually to do with what you look like at all. It's to do with what you're like as a person. And the reason he ticks every box is not only is he stunningly good looking and he's a fantastic sportsman, he's there with his kids and he's doing all of that. And that, you know, I don't care whether my man is clean shaven or has a beard or weighs 8 stone, 12 stone or 20. It doesn't matter. If you're there and you're nice and you value me and you know, you're a good person, if you like. That's actually what matters. Don't you think part of the allure of a man, though, is that he is different from you? Yes, exactly. So he's meant to have, like, hairy bits where you've made yours all nice and smooth, and he's meant to smell slightly male rather than smell of some kind of
toilet cleaner or
but
air
those
freshener.
don't exist
Isn't he
in the
meant to be just
adverts,
slightly
do
male?
they? Yeah, but where are those men? In
I actually
adverts?
think that David Beckham really works because he's it works publicly because he's a footballer and that's seen as a masculine thing. And so, you know, the plucking of the eyebrows and whatever, he's still a great footballer. And it's funny because your children and your husband, Diana, they're builders, and that's the epitome of masculinity.
Yeah. They all come in filthy, but they're straight in the shower and say, I'll use my hairspray, some moisturiser, concealer to work. So it's nice to be rugged, but be clean, you know, clean those fingernails.
It's
a nice
finding the
medium.
combination between the two, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
It's like I've got soft skin, but I stink.
I didn't want to say anything, that's fine.
Well, you know.
It's funny, mine's really rough and I smell great.
Brilliant discussion. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks so much to Jason, Jim and Liz Russell staying with us to tell us how he once dreamed of being a footballer himself. Blimey, coming up, the media would have us believe that there's no excuse for a low sex drive. Everybody else is at it like rabbits. But the reality is very different. Many women would rather nod off than have any hanky-panky whatsoever. According to Liz, at any rate, all that and much more after the break.